Hello and welcome back. So here I am with the first floor. As you can see, I did all the grouting. I did it on all four walls. It looks a little splotchy. That's kind of done on purpose, so you can have a little different effects on different bricks, give it a little bit more natural look. And let me just actually raise the camera. Bear with me for a second here. All right, so here's a review of the interior as we are so far. Between the last update, besides doing the exterior mortar, I started building up the interior walls, and here you go. So these are the two divided walls in the first floor, and basically this is the same structures I did for the first floor, which is just using that 3/16 inch square dowels beams. So cut them up for in the shape of the wall, size of the wall. I put some blocking foam core in between, and then I layered them up with. Actually, this is just paper. This is actually photo paper that I had online. It's thick enough just to be the wall covering. So it gives it a nice smooth finish, nice and white. And I'm doing the same thing for the interior walls where need be. And let me just turn this over a little bit so you can see a little bit better. So here at the far wall, I put paper on it and cut it out. So I basically just like this. I just put one whole sheet, glue it there with white glue. Once it's dry, I'll take my X-Acto knife and cut out the windows. And just like that, I have wall covering. So I'm going to do the same thing for the interior wall here and complete putting it on the other wall as well. And I'll be right back. Alright, so back to this. Alright, so I did the walls. I put the paper up on the walls so they're all plastered with the paper. I have the walls here just temporarily set here. I'm not going to glue these in place until after I have the center staircase in place. What I'm going to move on next to is going to be the fireplaces on both rooms. Now, so you can see I have one here set up. What I'm going to do, I'm using some of those tiles in gray. I'm just going to set up the floor there for the fireplaces. The fireplace will be on top of that. And as far as the rest of the fireplace, I'm just going to build it out of black foam core. Since you're not going to see it all, this is going to be plastered over, covered up with a wall. And then you're going to have the cabinets on either side. So I'll just mix something up with the cabinets. I mean, with the foam core for the fireplace. I'll be back and show you how I did that. Alright, so here I am with my little foam core fill in for the rest of the fireplace chimney. I made a little hole there on the top so you can see the chimney once you take off the floor. So all this will be covered up, plastered on top, so that will just look like part of the masonry. And I'll do another one for the other side and get that ready. And then once I build up the cabinets and build the thing up, I'll seal this up. So I'll be back with that. Alright, so this is how the fireplace is shaping up. So put a little veneer, a little 1-inch piece of balsa wood around it, in front of it. So that's going to be what I'm going to be building up upon the rest of the furnishings and the molding and everything else in that area. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other fireplace. I just have the walls here temporarily just to give it some scale so you see how it fits within the scope of the room. The little black area there is that I just cut the hole a little too big for the fireplace portion there, so that's going to be covered up by the cabinets either side, so you're not ever going to see it. And I'll be back with an update in a second. Hello and welcome back. Okay, being back in a second actually turned out to be 2 weeks later. Apologies for the delay in the my updates on this build. Alright, so what you see here, I think last time that we saw each other was the last bit here. I was just showing you that I had completed the fireplace here and put on that veneer of balsa wood. And what you see here now are cabinets that I'm going to be putting on either side. Originally I was going to build actual cabinets using balsa wood like I did for the basement, but in the interim I actually acquired a 3D resin printer. And I printed out these cabinets. I went to with this thingiverse.com, and I found some models and I modified them to fit the space that you see here. In addition to that, I'm going to be using this resin printer to do a lot of the other little smaller details for this build, which I think will make the overall build look a lot better. And even though there's a learning curve for the resin printing, eventually it will save me time and produce a better product. Okay, so let's pan over here. Now originally I had intended, let me zoom out a little bit, to build out the staircase here first and then put on the walls and finish up either room. But as I was doing measurements, I discovered that I really needed this wall to be in place, as well as the mid landing here to be in place, so I can get accurate measurements. So that's what I'm in the process of doing. I've already glued in and adhere this wall, so this is permanently in right now. I'm going to attach the landing here and the support for it. But first I need to finish up the doorway here for the back and the doorway here leading down to the basement. And continue panning over to the other room. You can see how, give you a little preview of how it will be finished. So same thing like on the other side, 3D printed cabinets. I have my fireplace with a little bit of a mantle here. Painted everything, went with a blue color. And everything here is super glued in place. Give it a nice, good, sturdy bond and quick bond. Now, in addition to the cabinets that you see, I'm actually going to be doing also the windows as well as the doors. Now, I already have 3D printed the back door that's going to be going here. So I'm going to show you that here. And here you go. So here's my door. Here's a door frame. So this will slide into the hole. And then I'm going to have the door in there. The door is going to be opening inward. And we'll just put this down for a second and show you a bit close up the door, have a bit more details. You can see I put in a handle. And this particular door, I made it up, constructed it in Tinkercad online, so for your online CAD software, and then printed it out on the 3D printer. So it just needs a little bit of paintwork and you'll be all set for that. In addition to that, I'm also doing the doors for the interior hallway here, and just show you how that's going to look. So here's one of the interior doors. So this is the frame and the top part, and then these are going to be the actual doors that you see here for that. So I went with bi doors, make them smaller so they take up less footprint in each room when they're open. These I will be posing permanently open. Just to give you a little bit close-up detail here. And again, these were done in Tinkercad and then printed out on the 3D printer. I'll have links for all this stuff below. You can see it. Add a little doorknob there. And you can see the paneling detail. Alright, and what else? The other thing that I also have gotten a chance to 3D print are the windows. So let me pause this for a second and pan down. Alright, so here are the front of the windows. And again, I did all this in Tinkercad online and put it on the 3D printer. This way I can have nice, good, even, and repeatable pattern for all the windows, as opposed to the smaller windows that I did for the basement, which I glued on each little mullion one by one. Here I just need to print it out multiple times, clean it up, and paste it here. So this is constructed with the window in the middle. This is the window part. Let me show you a little close up of that. So you got your top frame, your bottom frame. And that's the reverse. So on the reverse, once I add the glass, I'm going to print out, and I'm still fiddling with the sizes, a little back window there to sandwich it together. So they're sandwiched in between. The glass will be sandwiched in between, as you see here. So that will be sandwiched between that, give you that window glass effect, and you still have the window frame outside and inside visible. Okay. In addition to that, I also put in the header and sill here, window sill. And again, this was also done in Tinkercad and 3D printed. These are just in place for right now. They still need to be painted and weathered. So we'll tight. There you go. Alright, so this is just a simple design. You got your windowsill and your window header there. It just needs to be painted and weather up. Look like painted concrete. They'll slip in there. the window itself, after being painted and having the glass installed, will slip in there. There you go. And that's how I will be doing all the windows. Much easier to do that than building them stick by stick, especially since this house is going to have 13 windows altogether. So that's kind of a lot to put together. All right, so that's where I am with this. Something I'm going to end this update right here. I am going to continue with the back door and the door leading to the cellar, and I'll pick this up again once I've completed the other room and done whatever painting and set up here, as well as how I'll be tackling the staircase in the middle there. All right, thank you all for watching. Take care and stay safe.